This is the Dogecoin 1 month overview reading for January 2023. It's currently December 22nd, 2022, 7:33 p.m. Eastern Time. And the price of Dogecoin at the time of this reading is 0.07752, so almost 8 cents. So the overall theme and behavior for Dogecoin in January, we're going to attempt to reestablish the support level, and there's a notable decline from a resistance down to and through a support level. I mean, another support level, then we bounce along sideways between that support level and the resistance above it before breaking down through more supports, like multiple support levels. Significant decline. Looks like there may be a little bit of a breakout and an opportunity to sell at a high before this notable decline. Overall, it's looking pretty bearish. And behavior around the high, we have a lot of the time this is about a significant, the Emperor card is about a significant support level, establishing support or establishing some sort of like a foundation. It's in the high position, so likely we attempt to establish support at a high. Male ruler of nations is probably also highlighted in some regard. And then behavior around the lowest low, we have a pop up through, like a new local high is formed within close proximity to the lowest low for January. When we move higher through resistance, we stay above it briefly, and then we break back down through the same price level. And what's a local high? So this right here would be a highest high. This would be a local high, a local high, a local high, if that makes sense. This is a local high, lowest low, local low, local low. So hopefully that makes sense, my friends. Actually, matter of fact, let's take a look. Let's take a look at Dogecoin. All right, guys, so Dogecoin in November, we had a high on the 1st. We had a high here on the 1st. We had a high here on the, looks like the 3rd, 4th. Another poke here on the 3rd. Another poke here. It looks like I just missed that 3rd one by like just a smidgen of a day. And then we have this drop here. Looks like notable trough around the, what is this, the 7th? So 7th, 8th. There's another one on the 8th and another one on the 10th. And then on the 10th we also have a prominent high, and then another prominent high on the 12th. Look at that, guys. I mean, I didn't even miss them. On the 18th, this one's a little off. I mean, it's still technically a high, but not really very impressive for a high. And then we go into lows. Looks like I had difficulty determining exactly where the lowest low is going to be on the November. I don't always get that information, but it looks like I had difficulty determining that here. But we did have a prominent low here between the 21st and the 22nd. So it looks like that was right on the ball there, 21st, 22nd, and then here we had another one. Let's see if I picked up on that one on the like right on the 9th. Is it the 9th? Looks like I would have had it probably on the cusp of the 9th or more so on the 10th, but still pretty close, especially when you take into consideration that the November Dogecoin reading was created on October 3rd of 2022. Bang, bang. All right, guys, now back to what we were looking at, the January reading. All right, so on the 1st, we have a prominent high here in January. It looks like when we rally along the diagonal trend line, break through horizontal resistance, and then meet secondary resistance before pulling back to somewhere between those two price levels. We may actually come out of a decline into that rally. There's a cessation of a trend at a low position here towards the end of the day. So we probably rally out of like a day's low towards the end of the day on the 1st into a high there on the 1st, and probably higher on the 2nd. Notable and unexpected move and opportunity towards the end of the day on the 2nd, at a prominent high or crest. And it looks like we may revisit it again on the 3rd, but there's a significant technical price level that's highlighted around this high, somewhere between the 1st and the 3rd. Significant technical price level that will be high, like it'll be important on more than just a 1 month chart. On the 4th, looks like we have a prominent prominent low. So we go from a prominent low on the first to a prominent high on the first, another prominent high on the second, to a prominent low on the fourth, and then again on the cusp of the fifth. Looks like we have a significant low on the fifth. There's erratic behavior back and forth through the same price level on the fourth, and in the midst of that erratic behavior, there's a notable move higher on a one-day chart, bringing us to a crest that was recently a past opportunity. And then, like, it's possible that okay, so out of this low on the fifth, there's a rally that offers an opportunity to open up a short position. Looks like on the sixth, we have an intentional fake out, shakeout. Looks like we probably established support based on the orange correlation to the power card. We probably established support at a high, like just temporarily, doesn't last. There's some sort of intentional fake out, shakeout there, so be careful. But it looks like we probably declined pretty hard on the sixth. We established a support on the seventh to the downside. And there's a fast sudden move higher. Out of that rotation along support on the 7th. A fast sudden move higher, marking the end of a period of volatility. Excuse me, marking the end of a period of rotation. And then on the 8th, we have a period of volatility after we meet a resistance level. Often the Ace of Swords ends up being like a notable high or prominent high, if not a highest high. I'm not so sure it's the highest high in this case, but it is going to be a prominent resistance level that's highlighted, and then there'll be volatility there in the midst of that resistance. It looks like we probably try to establish support at a high there at that resistance, try to establish that support momentarily, but then on the 9th looks like we're probably at least a day's low early in the day on the 9th, but a prominent low looks like on the 9th. There's also a few trade opportunities that I skipped by, guys. We'll get into those for the paid version. If you want to hear about the trades, the best trades that we see for the month, my friends, then you got to go to the website tarotfortraders.com and sign up for the $29 a month subscription. It includes everything that we're talking about here in the public version, plus it has the best trades that we see for the month. Not to mention that it also supports the channel and guarantees that the Dogecoin January reading comes out every month. So thank you to those of you supporting the channel. And back to what we were saying, so there's the bottom of a range, it looks like, is highlighted both early on the 9th and again on the 10th, but then on the 10th we have a breakout on the scale of a 1 month chart, takes us to another move higher, an unexpected move to the upside on the 11th, followed by a sharp decline on the 12th. It looks like we successfully turned resistance into new support momentarily or temporarily somewhere between the 12th and the 14th. But then, there's a rally to do that, and then we have like bearish price swings on the 12th with a sharp decline. On the 13th, a merger or a decision between two leaders is highlighted that somehow impacts Dogecoin. Sometimes it's like a holding pattern with a pop and drop there, or like a high move, a move higher followed by a full retracement of that move back down. But then on the 14th, we have one of the most likely locations of a highest high for the month. It could be somewhere between the 12th and the 14th, but highest probability here on the 14th, like between the 12th and the 14th is the highest probability of a high to be cleared. And we do some price swings on the 14th. There's also a prominent day's low or a prominent low early in the day on the 14th. On the 15th, we decline from a support level down to and through another support level, and then we rotate sideways along that support. There's a trade opportunity I'll get into later on the 15th as well. And it looks like I'm being warned that there's a notable drop towards the end of the day on the 15th into overnight on the 16th. We'll have another prominent low. This is most likely where we'll see, this is one of the highest probable places to see a lowest low for the month here on the 16th. And out of this prominent low, there's sideways fluctuations with a bullish trend preceding a decline. At the end of the day on the 16th, in the midst of a day's high, I'm advised to open up protection. And then there's It looks like we may actually hit that low somewhere between the cusp of the 16th and the 17th. It's hard to say, but there's a prominent low or a low slow there between the 15th and the 17th, let's say. Probably on the 16th, but between the 15th and the 17th, and one of the higher probabilities of being a lowest low. Then on the 17th, we have a rally with along a diagonal trend line increasing with momentum as we move forward into a key technical resistance level. On the 18th, we sell from a near overbought crest or peak there, and another trade opportunity on the 18th, 19th. On the 19th, a notable move higher to a significant or a prominent high for the month as well. It looks like we established support at a high there, and then 3 pokes through the same price level the following day on the 20th, marked by a sharp decline. Decline continues into the 21st, declining through a key support level that we recently declined through once before. So within like the last 7 days or so. And then it looks like we probably gap up on the 22nd to a resistance level that we attempt to turn into support. But we declined pretty hard from that point early in the day. We declined throughout the 22nd. 23rd decline continues, increasing with momentum as we move forward into the day. And then it looks like there's a notable drop either overnight or during the day on the 24th, bringing us to another location of the highest, the most likely location for the lowest low. This is the highest location for the lowest low. I should say higher probability than the 16th even. On the 27th, and we might revisit it again on the 26th. But at the end of the day on the 27th, there's a move higher through resistance, followed by briefly by a new local high, and then we break back down through the same price level with a full retracement shortly thereafter, either on the 24th or more likely on the 25th. Yeah, we revisit that low on the 25th. At the end of the day on the 14th, there's a trade opportunity. Again, I'll get into that. And we decline back down on the 25th to another prominent low either on the 25th or the 26th. There's an important resistance level that's highlighted both on the 26th and the 27th. Towards the end of the day on the 27th, there may even be a little bit of a breakout. I'm advised not to chase that rally. There's a failed attempt to break through key resistance on the 28th that technicals would lead us to believe we're going to break through. Instead, we decline through key support on a 1-month scale. And then at the end of the day, there's a notable move higher. It may be overnight, but at the end of the day, there's a notable move higher, probably overnight, to attempt to establish new support at a high there in the 29th, with a big move towards the end of the day. We're bumping along resistance on the 30th, maybe breaking through and bumping along resistance again. And then on the 31st, there's a notable drop, possibly another prominent low for the month there on the 31st, but there's a notable drop that offers an opportunity to open up a long position. And I'll get into the trade there and how it's involved in next month's reading for those of you watching the paid version just momentarily. The sneak preview for the following month, we have a significant move higher reaching for distant resistance. And that's Dogecoin. I'm going to get into the questions and answers and verify some of these price levels in just a second, so stay tuned. For those of you that haven't, please take a moment and subscribe, like, share. All that stuff helps the channel. You can also support the channel through any of the links below. And stay tuned, guys. We're going to get into the Q&A. Okay, this is the Q&A for price levels, and for those of you that are interested in, we have the shuffle file here created today on December 22nd, 2022 at 3:13 p.m. That's this file right here. This is the Dogecoin 1-month overview reading for the month of January 2023. It's currently December 22nd, 2022, approximately 3:10 p.m. Eastern Time. Dogecoin at the time of this reading is 7.5 cents, 0.075. Dogecoin's lowest price level of January 2023 taking place on January 24th, 2023. No. Is Dogecoin's lowest price level of January 2023 taking place on January 26th, 2023? Maybe. Is Dogecoin's lowest price level of January 2023 take place on January 25th, 2023. Yes. I got a clear kinetic yes as well. So we have two lows there on the 25th and the 26th, it looks like. Is Dogecoin's lowest price level... Does Dogecoin's lowest price level of January 2023 take place on more than 2 days in January of 2023? Yes. It looks like 3. I got a 3 there. Does Dogecoin's lowest price level of January 2023 take place on January 31st, 2023? No. Does Dogecoin's lowest price level of January 2023 take place on January 16th, 2023? I got a maybe there, so that's just it. So we've got one there on the 16th, another one on the 25th, another one on the 26th. I'm not sure how I feel about the 31st. A lot of the time that's a lowest. The Ace of Cups can often be a lowest low, but I'm not so sure it's the lowest low in this case. It'll be a prominent low. Alright, so highest highs. Is Dogecoin's highest price level of January 2023 taking place on January 14th, 2023? Yes. Is Dogecoin's highest price level of January 2023 taking place on January 12th, 2023? Yes. Is Dogecoin's highest price level of January 2023 taking place on more than 2 days of January 2023? No. Alright guys, that's Dogecoin for January 2023. Let me know what you think by hitting that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Most important, oh, you know what? We're still doing the shuffle here. Let's see what other questions can I come up with here. I guess that's pretty much it. That's all I really need to ask. We can go back to this then. Guys, there's a ton of ways that you could support the channel. We do need your support. Let me explain the rule of karma here, guys. So I think some people are misunderstanding the rule of karma. The rule of karma is innate. It's an important part of this channel. Like, we're putting out a ton of free content. This takes like all of my time away. Like, I do this all day long, every single day into the middle of the night. You know, it takes a lot of time. I'm doing it all for free. And, you know, the understanding is that people who are making money from this information, they're going to send 5% of the profits back to the channel. As part of the rule of karma. That's for every trade, my friends. That's not like, oh, let me see how I do 2 out of 3 here. It's for every trade because the work is being done for every trade. Yet, if the profitable trades aren't, the 5% isn't being sent to me, then I'm not getting any. I'm not getting any, like, you know, what do you call it? Any benefit from the situation. All I'm doing is work for no results. You know, so I keep that in mind. It's not a matter of like cumulatively. It's a 5% of every profit made. And I'm not telling you this because I want a ton of money. I mean, yeah, I'd like to have some money, but that's not why I'm telling you this. I'm telling you this because I'm sure that there's people out there that have good intentions and they're like, okay, I'm gonna send them this money in like a bit. Let me do a couple more trades, and then they end up losing their money because they're not following the rule of karma. Even though they have good intentions, they're acting in scarcity mentality. Scarcity mentality will bring more scarcity. You have to think in abundance mentality, right? And follow the rule of karma. The universe will not allow people to profit from this information and not do the right thing with it. End of story. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.